Alright guys, welcome back to PricePlow. Today we're keeping the train rolling with Performax launches. Today we've got Oxymax, their new extreme fat burner. It's a pill. And like we said with their VIP box back there, they're getting back to their hardcore roots, but doing it compliantly. And it's a lot of things that we like about fat burners here at PricePlow is hardcore, ones that are gonna make you sweat, but don't break the law. And so if you watch a lot of my fat burner videos, or you watch our stories on Instagram, you know that I run short mini cuts instead of long extended ones. So I want ones that work quickly, that are a little bit more intense, but I'm not a fan of the really uncomfortable stuff. And I think that Oxymax kind of found that exact middle spot where they went hardcore with it, but they didn't break the law. And so you have both sides of it works really well and fast, but it also isn't uncomfortable. So in true Performax fashion, we've got some intense ingredients to get through today. Strap in and let's talk about some science today. So a lot of the ingredients today are going to be very similar to Hypermax, their pre-workout. Performax favors a bunch of PEA, a lot of stimulants, some stuff that's going to make you sweat. And it's honestly, I like it because it's a 1 capsule dosage. It goes through a whole bunch of different stuff that you hear us talking about on PricePlow that are going to be efficacious, but it also gives you a response, an acute response that's going to make you feel like you're sweating and working hard. Right off the top, we got Neuro PEA. Now this is an ingredient that we saw in their Hypermax. It's obviously a form of PEA. It's going to feel good when you're taking it. Now this is a trademarked aurantium extract, and it makes us feel a little bit better. This is probably coming from an actual aurantium plant instead of just being synthetic stuff out there mislabeled as aurantium. Now this trademarked version of it differs from other poor versions of PEA because it has actually 2 alkyl groups attached to the PEA backbone, which physically keeps the compound from being broken down by the MAO enzyme too quickly. Put simply, it keeps that pop going longer and better. So if you're a fan of Performax Labs, which you probably are if you're tuning into this video and you're excited for this to come back out, you're likely a fan of this feeling and you're going to be happy to note that this is going to be sticking around. Now it's worth noting that aurantium is likely one of the reasons that this product isn't going to be in bigger box stores like GNC and Vitamin Shop, but Performax, like they said, is getting back to their roots, their hardcore roots, and they want to make sure that their customers are getting the things that they love Performax for. Notably, the feeling you get with aurantium here. Now this next form is also going to be another version of PEA in Thin Fen. Now this version does not have all those extra benefits that Neuro PEA had. This is going to be straight up PEA for your body. Now when you take PEAs like this, it's going to release catecholamines in your body, specifically dopamine for that feel-good effect. Now one of the nice things about this formula is they also include further down citrus aurantium, which may contain hordenine, which can have some MAO inhibition, which, like we were saying, is the thing that's going to remove this PEA from your body and help it break down faster. So you're getting not only an ingredient that boosts mood boosting, but you also get a defensive ingredient later on that helps it stick around in your body. If you feel Oxymax quickly, like within 5 minutes, this is the specific ingredient that's doing it. Now, neither one of these ingredients here actually boosts fat burning, but with these fat burners, a lot of the time you get that good feeling ingredient with it. A lot of people like that effect, that acute response that's gonna make you feel good during your workout or your cardio or you're starting your day. Now, from there, we get into actually efficacious fat burning ingredients, cocobuterol. Now, this cocobuterol is at 50 milligrams and it's a 50% cocoa alkaloid standardization. Not all the ingredients in here have standardizations, but when they do label them, we're excited to know exactly what we're getting out of them. Now, one of the main ingredients in here is going to be theobromine. You see this often in pre-workouts or fat burners. It's very chemically similar to caffeine, and it helps boost the feeling of caffeine when taken together. In ways that it's different from caffeine, it can last longer within the body, and there could be other constituents within here that are also helpful for fat burning, but we're actually looking at OxyShred for. Research has shown that theobromine, alongside some of these other constituents within cocobuterol, boost fat oxidation, reduce appetite, and increase energy. Now, alongside that cocobuterol, you're also getting 200 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous. 200 milligrams of caffeine is not a crazy amount, but that's just the caffeine anhydrous in here. You also get Infinergy, which we know as dicaffeine malate. It's a longer lasting caffeine. So if caffeine anhydrous is quick in and quick out, dicaffeine malate is going to smooth that out over a longer 2 hours. Most people report longer workouts or longer endurance during workouts because of that. Now the Infinergy in here is 75 milligrams, and that's not pure caffeine. I think it's about 73%. So you're getting around like 250 milligrams of total caffeine here, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is alongside a few other stimulants like theobromine, which will help make the effects of caffeine more noticeable and lend their own stimulants as well. From there, we get into really like actual fat burning ingredients like pyridoxine. Pyridoxine is a ginger extract. Now, pyridoxine here is only standardized for 6-paridol. Grains of paradise, we've talked about a lot recently. There's 4 different main constituents in grains of paradise. Pyridoxine specifically goes in for 6-paridol, and at 40 milligrams, it's giving us 12.5% 6-paridol. Now, grains of paradise is a popular spice. Every time I visit Mike in Austin, he cooks steaks for me with it. It actually does taste great, but that's not the only thing that it's good for. When it's standardized like this, it can help out a lot with fat burning, especially converting white adipose tissue into brown fat. So this effect turns up the heat on your body, increases thermogenesis, increases body temperature, and in a 2011 trial, mice fed a standardized GP extract, grains of paradise extract, had the activity of the sympathetic nerves entering brown adipose tissue measured. These researchers saw that GP elevated nerve activity for as long as 3 hours while simultaneously increasing body temperature, effectively stimulating BAT. Grains of paradise revs the metabolism and heats up production of energy. Now from there we go into one of the ingredients that isn't standardized in here. I wish it was, because there's a lot of things in this ingredient that we could be looking for. Citrus aurantium. Now this is at 25 milligrams. This could be standardized from anything from synephrine to hordenine. Like we said before, hordenine would be valuable because it's a MAO inhibitor, which would help with the PEA in the body. But we don't know if that's actually what it is there. What we definitely think it probably is standardized for, if it is standardized, is synephrine, which is a really powerful fat burner that actually caloric expenditure and lower appetite, as well as just being a fun stimulant before your workouts. Now, synephrine can help boost fat burning through C-AMP, and we've talked about this a lot in different ingredients when it comes to berberine, beta, or a lot of different stuff. But one of the really valuable parts of it is that it does all of this without increasing blood pressure or heart rate. When used along exercise, in 2016, a double-blind, placebo-controlled research study performed on 18 healthy subjects demonstrated that synephrine can significantly boost fat oxidation rate during exercise as compared to placebo. Previous research also showed that it boosts fat oxidation when training alongside caffeine, which we have alongside here as well. So like I said, this isn't standardized. The 2 ingredients that I would guess that would be found inside of here would be hordenine or synephrine, and those are the benefits you could be getting from that. No matter what, citrus aurantium definitely works, and when you take a pill, you definitely feel that there's something in there. We just don't know what. From there, we go into ProGBB, and ProGBB at 20 milligrams here is, like I was saying before, it's going to help heat things up, but it's not going to make you uncomfortable. And this is one of the things I like about this version of OxyShred is from Performax. You normally expect something that is like so ridiculously hardcore it might be too much. And Hypermax definitely, when taking it 2 scoops, might give you that feeling for a little bit. But OxyShred here, I think they went for a much more responsible dosing scheme. ProGBB, if you have ever taken a fat burner and just ridiculously sweat yourself, it probably is that ingredient. ProGBB, a lot of people talk about the carnitine benefits of it, and I honestly, for me, I don't think the science supports ProGBB as a really strong fat burner, but I think that it's become a mainstay in this industry because so many consumers love the way that it makes them sweat. I know that when I take a fat burner and go do cardio, I'm trying to sweat. I'm trying to get that feeling going. And yes, sweating isn't necessarily your fat crying or dying, but that sweat effect is really enjoyable. It's definitely an acute benefit that you'll enjoy from a workout, and it just feels good at the time. Now, 20 milligrams of it here is around like half of what the really hardcore formulas will go for, and for most people, that's going to be a little bit too much. At 20 milligrams here, I think you're going to get a lot of really great benefits from it. You're going to feel warm, feel like just ready, and your joints are going to feel lubricated and full of blood, and you're going to be sweating, but it's not going to be uncomfortable, especially alongside these other stimulants. I think that in this industry, a lot of people get so caught up on giving this kitchen sink of all these different ingredients at full doses, they don't consider what might happen taking all of them at full doses together. I think that Performax here did a good job of maintaining the hardcoreness of the product while also keeping it responsible. Now, of course, people are going to argue and say that, you know, it's not as much as they want, and that's totally fine. If you're looking for something that will knock the socks off of you in that way, it definitely exists out there. And you might even consider taking 2 capsules of this, although Performax doesn't recommend that you take another capsule until 6 hours later. But for me, I'm actually a big fan of how they did this because I'm not always looking to absolutely die of sweat, especially if I'm doing my cardio in the morning and then I need to work for the rest of the day and not be sweating through my clothes. Now, after that, we go into fucoxanthin, which is an intriguing ingredient that's found in brown seaweed. Upon ingestion, this carotenoid is deacetylized to form fucoxanthinol. which is actually readily absorbed via fatty acids, similar to that of fat-soluble vitamins. And so once available to the body, fucoxanthin affects multiple different mechanisms, some of which we've actually already talked about in this video. Stimulates AMPK, increases GLUT4 activity, improves blood triglyceride levels, and increases circulating adiponectin. Additionally, a study in 2018 found that fucoxanthin had a significant impact on white adipose tissue. Obese mice fed a high-fat diet were treated with fucoxanthin for 5 weeks, with researchers assessing various metabolically associated metrics. They found that specifically in white adipose tissue, fucoxanthin increased mRNA expression of beta-3 adrenergic receptors and uncoupling protein 1. Now, as we talked about some other ingredients, this converted white adipose tissue into brown fat, which is much easier to lose than white adipose, and it also increases body temperature. So with 8 milligrams here, this is actually quite a large dose. This is totally a safe dose, but just be noted, this is a large one at that. Now, second to last here, we get through bioperin, which is a black pepper extract made for absorption. Now, this ingredient doesn't actually have any clinical studies on the ingredients in here. However, it's popularly used as an ingredient absorption agent and could help with the absorption of these ingredients in here. And lastly, vomitoria at 2 milligrams. Alpha-yohimbine, a controversial ingredient, yet a very popular one for fat burners, is a, I would say, stronger yet lower in side effects version of yohimbine alkaloids or yohimbine HCl. This alpha-yohimbine version, you can use less of it, get a more robust effect, and in my opinion, have less side effects. Some people will report cold sweats, a little bit of anxiety from it, but in terms of fat burning, if you take this on a fasted stomach, wow, you're gonna drop a lot of fat. Altogether, you end up with a very strong fat burner. Believe me, some of these comments in here may have been about it not being the biggest doses in the world, but you end up with a responsibly dosed fat burner that burns fat very quickly and produces a nice acute effect of sweating. I'm a big fan of this one, and when I come into my next cut, I think in the next 4 weeks, I'm very excited to be using it more often then. As always, guys, I do have to say we got this product for free. We do have a business affiliate relationship. If you want to pick one up from Performax, coupon code PricePlow is definitely your game. Other than that, if you have any questions, drop them below. I'd love to talk about the product, the recent launches for Performax, or the company in general. As always, guys, I have to say thank you so much for making this far in the video, and have a great day.